Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, May the 2nd, 2023. Monday, May the 2nd. Let's see what's going on and why in our land. Well, we got to see someone we haven't seen in quite a while since, he got arrested for all the misdeeds. JT, looked good seeing him. Boy, I remember him when he was a teenager on that show. JT had the red Corvette, I think, the red sports car that Brittany loved riding in. But anyway, um, JT was telling Elena, because he's talking to Elena, and she's saying how he's got a powerful story and somebody could benefit from it. And he's like, well, he talked to her because he felt Victoria, had approved this. And he goes, will she be involved? And he says, well, not on this level. He says, on the Newman Media level, no, Victoria won't be involved. And he goes, okay, but you know what? I owe it to her to do it for what I put her through, right? So he's thinking Victoria wants this, right? But Elena's not deceiving him. She's just saying it's for our podcast. And we feel it would make your story would make a great story. It would help people. Okay. So then she goes, great, great. I'm so happy you're gonna, get involved. And she goes, we'll make all the arrangements and send you the plane tickets and make your hotel arrangements. And he's like, wait, what? No, no. I'm not coming back to Genoa City. He says Genoa City has a long memory, and there's so many people there that will not want to see me back there. She says, yeah, but everyone knows it was because of your brain tumor that those. He goes, no, that's still too many. Ooh, he goes, no, I don't want to revisit that. So we can do this remotely. And the beautiful thing, most things are done remotely now anyway. Seriously. It's a podcast. And the thing is it going to be, it's funny. Podcasts used to only be audio. Remember that? Podcasts meant you're listening to things audio. Now, podcasts are consisting of really, they're doing videos, calling a podcast, right? Mine could be said, called a podcast if I choose to say, well, I'm podcast. Well, no, this is a video on my YouTube channel. But anyway, so she goes, well, look, you have my information. I want you to think it over. Don't just completely rule it out. And if you decide that you would want to come here, we would love to feature you. So she left it, really open to JT. And she closed the laptop and she's at Crimson Lights. Why she didn't do it at home? Elena, you got a living room. Could have been completely private there, right? So Audra comes in, and Audra's like, so did you talk to JT Hofstrom? And she goes, yes, I did. Oh, good. When's he coming? She goes, he's not. He does not want to come back to Genoa City at all. So Audra's like, oh. Well, she's like, you just need to work on him more. So she goes, no, I left it on him. If he wants to do it, he will reach out to me. And so she goes, but JT is the way, to get Victoria's mind, off of Nate. So this way, you could concentrate on your relationship with him. And my whole thing is, do you want Nate if you feel like you got to put a distraction between him and Victoria when Audra's already said that they could be sleeping together? You want Nate still? So Elena goes, you know what? No, that'll take too long. I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to LA and I'm going to see for myself. And she walks out, and Audra is looking into the camera like, yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. She going to see an eye full. So we're going to see, you know how in soap opera land, Sometimes they make any and everybody be slinking around a corner, hearing a conversation they're not supposed to hear, right? Because people have to talk in public. They have to talk about critical, crucial things in public. And there's always somebody listening. But then they make it so that certain situations, when someone should run into somebody or see something, guess what? That person is walking that way. And then the other person comes in, the person they're trying to get is going right. And then the other person comes in and they're going left looking for them. They just, the obvious just right over the head. So we'll see. Are they going to make Elena be skillful enough to catch them in the sack? And not so much in the sack, because for one, how could she get in Victoria's room? She would have to go to the desk and convince them to give her Victoria's room number, because that's where Nate's at. But you know what? They got meetings. They better be getting up because Victoria's already showering. They have back-to-back meetings. So maybe Elena will see them maybe at the restaurant, all nuzzled up together, can't wait to get upstairs, or maybe she'll see him getting on the elevator going upstairs, but she still won't know what room, right? So we'll see how they make Elena catch Nate in the sack with Victoria. Now, she probably could get Nate's room number, but the front desk aren't supposed to give you guest room numbers. They're not supposed to. So what we're going to see, we'll see just how that works. But Elena is really to the point. She kind of knows what she's going to be walking into. She really, really does. And she's dreading it. But she doesn't want to wait to be fed a ton of lies by Nate. So good. I applaud her for, look, if I got to fly cross country, that's what I'm going to do. Because see, he going to come back home freshly showered with his new mindset and tell you the most lies you ever want to hear. So he and Victoria in the afterglow, they're sitting on the bed talking, and oh yeah. And then he says, he's feeling guilty, right? And so Victoria says, where was all that guilt when we were doing all the things we were doing earlier? And he goes, where was that guilty conscience then? Nate was like, that guilty conscience was sleep, and he's kind of chuckling, right? He's like, because that guilty conscience is attracted to you just as much as I am. And so Victoria looks at him. So she goes, which was so kiddish to me. She goes, so you do like me, right? And so Nate says, wait a minute, why is it? Oh, he goes, of course, I like you. And she's like, good to know. And he says, but it still doesn't make it right. I got to figure out, what am I going to do? And Victoria says, well, there's seems to me like you know what you want to do. And so he says, well, I know, but there's still Elena. And Victoria kind of looks at him and she says, Nate, that there's something undeniable between us. Something completely undeniable. And Elena wants you to be something that you're not. They were discussing this earlier downstairs, and I appreciate you for the brilliant mind that you are. Yeah, Victoria, sure. You filling his head with all of that, right? And so Nate is like, yeah, And so Victoria says, well, you know what? We'll just have no more meetings alone. We'll be chaperoned at all times. And and then they kind of chuckling at each other. He goes, but then what you going to do when our eyes kind of meet each other and then you start fantasizing over what we did? And then you start blushing. And she's like, well. And so Nate said, you know, Victoria, why is it so easy with you? Now, those of us that know Victoria, we know Victoria, she's not easy. But the only thing I can say about Victoria, and let's think about it, the relationships she was in, not this last time with JT, because they went off the rails with him being abusive. They really did. And that really terrorized her. And then Ashlyn, oh my goodness. But when Victoria is in a relationship, she's actually very supporting of her partner. Now, either they want to change her, like Billy, she was very supportive of Billy. And then, oh my God, dealing with the whole Delia situation, which was the death of Delia. That was the breakup and the end of their marriage. But she went through all the ups and downs with Billy. But then when Billy would just get way too out of hand, Victoria's like, oh, no, peace out. Can't deal with it. You're not going to completely come in and destroy the family, right? But for the most part, she's pretty supportive as a partner. She would be supportive of Nate, but Nate is not anybody Victoria. There's no real love for Victoria. She only lusted for Nate. She fell in love with Billy completely, which is why she went back to him so many times. There was something about Billy Abbott she couldn't get out of her system. She didn't look up to Billy, but she respected Billy and she knew Billy had potential. But see, now we're getting back to she knew she wanted Billy to be the man she knew he could be, which is what Elena wants, right? She even made that comment to Billy when she said, Lily got the man that I knew you could be. Because remember there for a minute, Victoria was interjecting herself in Nate and Lily's relationship, trying to make it a competition, right? So anyway, she goes, well, that's because, we think alike. And I'm thinking, no, Victoria, you set a trap and you set out to get him and you got him. Period. But do you really want Nate? Because there's going to come a point in time when you're not going to be able to trust him either, nor can he trust you. Look at what happened to him and Elena. Look at how they started. What goes around ends up coming around. It really does. So now we had Summer and Kyle. Kyle finally got Summer to talk to him. And he says, look, I'm going to be here. We don't even have to talk. But this separation, I can't, we need to be together. And she goes, I don't want to sleep in the guest room. He goes, and I don't want you there either. He goes, we could just be together. He goes, I know that I know my mom didn't do this. I know she's innocent. And then she looked, but she didn't look, before she was looking in anger. She looked in guilt this time. She just looked at him. He goes, but I do understand that you believe differently. So I will leave you out of all of that. And so she goes, well, I'm in all of that. And he goes, well, how do you figure? She goes, because your mom's accused of killing my mom. I'm in it. And he goes, you're right. But look, I just have to find a way to exonerate my mother. And he talked about dying. He went right back into what he normally goes back into. He's a jack. He just told Summer, we could just be together. We don't have to talk. But he went to a whole 10-minute rendition on having to prove his mother's innocent and being there for her. And so Summer goes, Kyle. And he goes, no, okay, you're right. Okay. Like, okay, I'm talking too much, right? Oh, okay. All right. It's good just us being like this, just us, being with each other. And they sat there for a while, just saying that, hey, let's try not to lose this. So he decides he's hungry. So he's actually said, Tracy, And I was thinking, when did they get a maid called Tracy? When he was yelling like that, I thought her name was Mrs. Martinez. And so she goes, Kyle. He goes, anybody? She goes, Kyle, you are not going to call somebody to make you something to eat. And I was thinking, is that what he meant, Tracy, his Aunt Tracy? I've never seen her jump up and say, what would you like me to fix you? We're all independent adults up in this house, right? I will not. If anybody gonna make you anything, it's yourself. Like Summer said, get up and do it yourself. I'm happy she didn't say, I'll make you something to eat. It's like, no, he's hungry. Go make yourself something to eat, Kyle. And he goes, I'll be right back. Okay, I'll go. I'll make myself something to eat and I'll be back. So Summer, the guilt is killing her. Oh, because she's thinking about what Phyllis has said to her. And oh my goodness. See, and I knew this was going to happen. The guilt is killing her because Kyle says, maybe we'll get a miracle to prove my mother did not, she's innocent. She didn't do this. And Summer thought when Phyllis said, you're going to either save your mother-in-law or save me. So it's just killing her. And when Kyle finds out what he's going to find, that's, oh my goodness, that's not going to end well. You left my mother in jail knowing she was in, oh no. That's going to be the end of their marriage. It really is. And then that's going to be the end, Audra's inroads, right? So Adam he goes to see Nick because he went to see Sally talking about, I want to set up a trust fund for our daughter. And she's like, it's a little early for that, don't you think? And he goes, look, it's not too early to try to get her on the waiting list for Walnut Grove. She's going to have all of the advantages that all the other Newman children have. And Sally goes, well, okay. But look, we don't even have a name for the application. Let's wait. And he's like, okay. I just want you to know, you and our daughter aren't going to want for anything. She goes, Adam, I know that. She goes, but I got to go. Your father, she goes, did you come to fetch me? And he goes, fetch you for what? Well, I got summoned by your father, and I figured you were coming to take me to him, right? And he goes, what does my father want with you? She goes, I don't know. And he goes, okay, no, I'm coming with you. She goes, no. I know how to do things all on my own, right? So anyway, she tells him, look, I gotta go. He needs to leave. So he leaves. She gets ready to go see Victor. Sally still is not far along to be as far along as she is in her pregnancy. She is not showing enough at all. They have made her the most unpregnant looking pregnant woman ever on The Young and the Restless. Ever. Okay. So Adam goes to Newman Enterprises to talk to Nick. And Nick is like, what do you want? He goes, well, I got to tell you, I stopped by to see Sally and she was on her way out. And he goes, why? Well, our father summoned her. Nick is like, what? He goes, yeah, he summoned her. And that's not going to be good. And so Nick goes, oh, I'm out of here. He's going to go intercede. And Adam says, no, you can't do that. You can't go, Nick. You can't do that. And so Nick looks him up and down. And who's gonna stop me? Right? And Adam says, I am. So then he talks some sense into Nick's head by saying, look, Sally can handle herself. She will resent you acting like she can't. But he goes, but we know Dad and we know what he's going to do to her. And Adam says, yes, we do. So Sally's going to need someone to pick up the pieces after the number Dad does on her. And that's where you come in, Nick. Nick is like, yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. And I thought, well, how mature of Adam. How mature. Wowzers. So anyway, I was actually happy with Adam. Great job, Adam. And then we have Sally meets Victor. And do you know that son of a gun? She should have threw a drink on his face, right up in it. He tells her, congratulations on your daughter, talking about, you and I both had rough childhoods, and your daughter won't want for nothing. You should have horseback riding lessons and blah blah blah. He's naming all these luxury amenities. And she goes, oh, well, that's good to know. Good. Yeah. Wow. And then he goes, and I want to support. He goes, you're an entrepreneur. I want to support you in business. And she goes, really? And he goes, yes, yes. And any type of business you want, I'm gonna fund it. You can do it anywhere in the world, and this, that, and the other. You could just really spread your wings and whatever, he says. And so it dawned on her. She goes, wait a minute. You're saying you want your child to be close to family and raise, horseback riding lessons and all of these things, but yet you're saying you want me to start my business anywhere in the world? So it hits her. And she goes, oh, I see. So you want my child to be on your ranch, but you don't want me nowhere around. And he goes, my granddaughter will want for nothing. And this is going to be a chance of a lifetime for you. I'm going to let you think about it, but I'm confident you're going to do the right thing. And I thank you for coming. And he gets up and walks out. And I thought, Victor, your biggest thing is you were dumped on a doorstep at an orphanage by your mother. Yet you are trying to tell Sally to leave her baby and go and do whatever, like Dina did the other Abbotts. You know how well that went. How dare you? How dare you suggest that? And she should have told him, how dare you think that my baby is for sale? No. And if this is the kind of man you are, we won't have nothing to do with you. Yeah, I got the upper hand. Because this Newman, wherever I go, it goes. And Victor would have been, wait. Oh, when she tells Nick and she tells Adam what Victor said, they're going to go crazy on their father. They're going to go crazy. So that's it for today's daily recap for The Young and the Restless. Well, let's go to comment corner. Okay, everybody, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all the comments that I received with the new and improved daily recap lady. The daily recap lady that's getting ready to go on a business trip, that new and improved daily recap lady. I don't know how long she's going to be here, but I just want to say thank you because I got a lot of comments. Now, when I go through Comment Corner, I'm not going to read all the love your hair, looks great, all that. Thank you. But I want to just stick to the comments for The Young and the Restless, not really to the comments about me. So what I'm going to do is, it'll take me some time because I'm scanning to see, is this a comment just saying, oh, daily recap lady, you look 10 years younger. But how old did I look? No, come on now. I'm in my 60s, y'all. You know that. I'm in my 60s. Although this hair does make me look younger, I have to admit. But anyway, let me go to Comment Corner. Let's get started. Anita says, I agree. Tucker makes me giggle. His character's personality is so entertaining. Yes, Trevor St. John is bringing new depth to Tucker. Love it. And Lisa says, Nate can be with Victoria if he wants. Elena isn't forcing him to stay with her. She was ready to leave him until he begged her to stay. I know. Nate has no excuse whatsoever. All Elena asked for was honesty, and he couldn't even do that. And then we have Roxy. Roxy says, I missed Friday and Monday show. Now I don't know how to get back to see the shows. They're charging me money. But I said from day one, I am Team Tucker. Do you see him at the did you see him at the gala with his Batman mask on? With his face um, on on the table. Too funny. Love Tucker. Now I only watch for Tucker and Adam. They are both cute. Ashley's happy for the first time. Good for her. Oh, smiling. Jack, not now. Doom. Saw him a lot. Saw him on Lot CBS. Always happy. Elena, I don't understand that part. Elena's works too much. Devon should appreciate his father, you mean Tucker, trying to do right. Let Phyllis, like Phyllis, but the role is stupid. That is so true. Diane, still here. Why? I thought story AB, Jack's granddaughter. Yeah, what's supposed to be, but where, but it's nothing about, what's her name, Allie? Nick Boohis met him, like him, not on the role, wait, like him, not this role, getting too old for this. Okay, and then Belinda says, she gave a nice little prayer over me going traveling abroad to Dubai for my vacation. Thank you so much, Belinda. And then Gloria says, hello, good morning. Jack's life is going to be upside down behind Diane because the truth is going to come out and have a safe trip. Oh, have a safe trip. Yeah, the truth is going to come out, but Diane will get out when the truth comes out. They just never got into Diane's bad deeds because you know there are some. And then Annette says, Nate can turn my book pages any day. Okay, Annette, tell us how you really feel. Annette says, as we say in the good old South, Jack, you ate right in the head. Ashlyn, I bet he's in the waiting to he's in this waiting to return. No, Ashlyn's dead. They found his body in that staged car accident. Libby says, now wouldn't that be a kick in the pants if Ashlyn returned? Woo! Annette says, like I said, Tucker's a smooth operator. And Lashetta says, I am sick because Nate's a dog. Why didn't he break up with Elena first? Audra couldn't wait to tell. I get so tickled. Tucker is getting under Jack's skin. The same way Jack feels about Tucker, Ashley feels about Diane. Hello, I know, right? It's I love it. Go, Ashley. Jack, have a seat. Billy's not going. What is Billy not gonna do? He's not going against Jack, but what makes me mad is Billy stands for Diane, but downs Tucker. Ashley uses Tucker, but she wants Tucker too. When they made Elena naive, Audra is not your friend. Or when did they make Elena naive? She was so smart. Nate felt guilty. That's why he planned to take her on a trip. But what us bringing JT back gonna do? It's not gonna do nothing. Nate knew he was gonna cheat before he went there. I hate this. Devon told Elena that Nate had changed. Now he fired Sally. Victoria. Now she fired Sally for the same thing. If Vicky was a man, it would be sexual harassment. Elena needs to go public, harass them like they did you, or embarrass them like they did you. Patricia says, I like Nate. I mean, if Nate would have said people should walk backwards with baby diapers on their heads, Victoria would have still said, oh, Nate, you're so brilliant. because all she wants is to jump his bones. That is so true. She's making it like this man has come up with every brilliant idea that nobody else has, and he's so innovative. I like the way your brain turns. Shut up, Victoria. And then Libby says, LOL, LOL, you made me laugh almost as hard as Tucker did, Patricia. And then Anita said, very true. And Patricia says, I love Trevor St. John as Tucker, and he really makes me laugh with all the tossed hair. Sometimes he reminds me of Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy with the funny expressions. I know, what's up? You know, oh, yes, tapioca too, please. I like tapioca. He is so funny. Can't wait to see JT tomorrow. Yeah, but we saw him on an iPad. Have a great trip. Oh, you look like a woman in her. Well, I didn't mean to read that. I'm in my 60s, though. 60s. The Foxy Ladies. Oh, that's another one. Let me go on down. Here we go. Susan says, I'm thinking. Oh, that's the General Hospital one. We're on The Young and the Restless. Kimberly says, oh, no, goodness, y'all. Thank you for the compliments. Libby says, Trevor has stolen my heart. The writers have outdone themselves with his lines. I laughed so hard, tears were running down my face. The other funny part was the double meaning in the conversation between Victoria and Nate, and between Elena and Audra about Victoria and Nate. The rest of the show was a drag. If Jack says one more time he has to save Diane, I'm going to scream. Him and Kyle, too. I think Jack is going to help. I think Tucker is going to help Ashley in her plot to overthrow Jack at Jabot. Ashley has tried to overthrow Jack so many times. It's getting to be so old. I'm sick of it. Yeah, he probably will, but I'm sick of that. Brooklyn says, Nate, knew he was going to hit the sheets with Victoria when he told Elena he was going alone on this business trip. Lisa says he has no shame. This happens often in real life. Just break up with the person if you want to cheat. Why drag your partner along to hurt them in the process? Brooklyn says, oh, have a good trip. Okay. Ashton, no, Libby. Okay. All right, Libby, thank you so much for that comment. That is it for Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of The Young and the Restless.